when it comes to camping and RVing, there's an awful lot of written rules.
And there's also a lot of unwritten rules. Do you know the unwritten rules?
If you've been camping or RVing long enough, then you're well aware campgrounds have a lot of written rules. Things like how many guests are you allowed to have? Are you allowed to have guests? Are you allowed to have pets? What do you do with your trash? You have to take your trash to a dumpster. Do they pick it up? These are all written rules.
Can you wash your rig? Are you allowed to have a campfire?
Definitely, things like that. But what we want to talk about today are some of the unwritten rules in campgrounds. Now these are more like etiquette type rules, things that everybody should be aware of, but believe it or not, a lot of people just aren't aware of these rules, unwritten rules. So let's go ahead and get started with rule number 1. So unwritten rule number 1 is don't knock on somebody's door unless you really need to. What this really means is, if you think about it, if somebody's in their RV, maybe the door's closed, the shades are down, they're probably busy, or they just want some downtime.
Right.
They really don't want to be disturbed. Now, RVers are usually a pretty friendly bunch, so if you do see them outside, that's definitely a great time to go over and say hello or introduce yourself. And usually during the day as well. Some people may not like being surprised at nighttime by a stranger coming up to them.
Exactly, unless it's important, unless like they've got their headlights left on or their lights on inside their car or something like that. You're not, of course, then absolutely, they got a leak or something like that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So just use a little bit of common sense. Don't go bugging people unless it's really necessary. You think it's pretty important as well. So, unwritten rule number 1. Number 2 on our list of unwritten rules, don't distract RVers as they're setting up or tearing down. This is a pretty important one. A lot of people like us, we use checklists when we're setting up and also when we're tearing down. These are some very important steps in some of these checklists, and actually some very important safety checks as well. So the last thing you want to do is to distract somebody, cause them to miss one of their safety checks, and possibly cause an accident or actually hurt their RV or even damage their RV or tow vehicle as well.
Also, if you're the one doing a safety checklist, you don't want to be distracted by your phone. That includes texting, checking social media, or any of that. You've got to stay focused.
Yeah, definitely. If you think about it, backing up, trying to get into your site requires a lot of focus. So if you want to talk to somebody, let them finish setting up, let them finish tearing down, and then you go approach them after that. But definitely not during setting up or going through their checklist.
Exactly.
Number 3 on our list of unwritten rules, stay within your campsite. Now what we mean by this is the last thing you want to do is start expanding your campsite. Start maybe your lawn furniture, your children's toys, spreading them out where they actually go onto your neighbor's campsite. What happens is when RVers purchase a campsite, or I guess you want to say lease it for the day or the night, a lot of people feel like, and it's theirs for that time that they purchased it. Some people get very offensive or upset if you start getting into their campsites. So the last thing you want to do is to walk through somebody's campsite just to maybe take a shortcut to a restroom or the laundry. You don't want to have your lawn furniture or kind of over into somebody else's campsite, or your kids' toys and somebody else's bikes. Exactly. Something else that people don't normally think about, but same goes with vehicles. If you're in a pretty tight campground, sometimes you have to park vehicles sideways. You really want to make sure you stay on your side. The closer you get to another person's campsite, it might make it hard for them to pull out the next morning. They may not even be able to get out the next morning.
They may be leaving early, they were on a schedule, and you're blocking them, or they can't get out because of your vehicle. So just be respectful and keep that in mind.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't like if somebody came onto your campsite. So vice versa, just be respectful of that.
Don't invade other people's personal space. It's not pretty.
Hey. Number 4 on our list, plan on arriving and departing at reasonable times. Now we do know this doesn't work out all the time. Things break down, bad weather, things do change your plans, but you do want to try to plan on, we're going to get through these trees. You do want to plan on arriving and departing at good times. When we talk about arriving, you usually want to be there before sunset. It's a lot easier to set up your camp before it gets dark, and it's polite. Usually in the evenings, people are sitting out, maybe having dinner, relaxing, sitting by a fire. The last thing they want to do is hear a big old diesel rig pull up next door and people starting to unload and unpack everything and set up. The other thing is, if you have some really problems, maybe you're really late, you're arriving, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, think about just setting up the bare minimum.
The bare minimums, and then you can finish setting up in the morning the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not interrupting.
So arriving, super late, do the bare minimums, be quiet. The same thing kind of goes with departing or leaving the day of departure.
Right.
You want to do that at a reasonable time as well. Honestly, it's to give the campground time to clean up after you, so they can come through. If you have, some campgrounds will come by and pick up your garbage. They may rake the area. If you have rocks and pebbles, they may kind of straighten those out a little bit.
The gravel and stuff, and clean out the campfire pits and stuff like that.
So you want to give them time to get ready for the next RVer coming to the campground or your campsite. So arriving and departing at reasonable times.
Unwritten rule number 5 is don't park next to a fellow camper if there's other available spots.
Exactly. Now we do know, before you even say anything, we do know this isn't always possible.
Right.
A lot of campgrounds are going to assign you a site.
Most of them do.
Yeah, before you even get there.
Yeah.
But this really applies to more like boondocking or even wally docking, if you want to think of that. If there's available spots further down away from somebody, that's really the proper thing to do. People like the privacy. People like to be able to sit back in their own little corner of the world, look out and enjoy the scenery. The last thing they want to do is to see the backside of your RV or your sewer hose right next to them if you don't have to.
If you don't have to, if you can help it.
Yeah, so the flip side of this too is if you move away from somebody, it means you have more room to enjoy your privacy and your views as well. So number 5, let people enjoy their privacy, let them enjoy their view, and don't park next to another RV if you can help it.
Give your fellow campers room to breathe. Suck it in. Let it out. Suck it in. Let it out.
Hold on, now I'm dizzy.
That's my line.
Enough of that breathing stuff, we're both dizzy right now. We had to sit down after that little breathing exercise you made me do. I got dizzy. If you find videos like this helpful or even entertaining, please subscribe to our channel and make sure you hit the like button as well.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it very much.
Now on to number 6. Don't leave your porch light or awning lights on all night long.
Right.
This is kind of a biggie, and this can actually cause arguments, believe it or not. But a lot of people go RVing, they go camping to get away from the cities, get away from the bright lights. There's no sense bringing that with you.
Right.
Now, we're not saying you can't use your outside lights, but
we use ours every night.
we use ours all the time. But a little bit of respect, maybe a little bit of common sense is turn them off when you go to bed at night, or
quiet.
at least by quiet time. When it comes to quiet hours, that's when we definitely turn ours off.
Yeah.
Some people just want to be able to sit by a campfire, maybe enjoy the fire or enjoy watching the stars at night. And all the lights, it's just really light pollution, and it's making it harder for them to see the stars and enjoy the evening. So I'm not saying you can't use your outside lights, but just be respectful and make sure you turn them off before you go to bed, or at least by quiet hours.
Definitely. Now you know we go to bed before quiet time. You just gave away our secret. I wasn't going to say it that way.
We're old. Number 7 on our list, don't play music or watch TV late at night unless the volume is turned down low. Now we see this.
We see this all the
time. Sometimes I think we're the cream in an Oreo cookie because we have people on both sides of us trying to outdo the other.
Or they're together and we're in the middle.
People don't care what the Kardashians or who got a rose on.
The Kardashians. Kardashians.
All right, people don't care about them. People don't care about who got a rose on The Bachelorette. You want to keep the noise down. We actually you're going to get through this video with me.
Keep going.
We actually had a time, just about a month ago, people right next to us were playing music so loud. It was during the middle of the day. honestly,
Days, every day, all night, long
we
weekend.
don't like it, but we're not going to say anything
Yeah.
either. But apparently they had somebody called the camp host on them a couple of times.
Yeah.
Now, I think what the real problem was, it wasn't so much the loud music, it was what was being said in the music. Literally the F word, every other
word.
sentence.
Yeah.
It was that
It was
bad,
bad.
super loud. And then top it all off, there's a lot of little kids running around. Not their kids,
No.
but a lot of other kids running around
Full
too.
of kids. The campground
So,
was full of kids.
yeah, and we're not fuddy-duddies. We're not going to say
We are
anything about it.
fuddy-duddies, kind of.
But it's just, again, a little bit of respect. Keep the music down, keep the TV down. Everybody gets along. Except for the Kardashians.
Oh boy.
Number 8 on our list, don't expect immediate service from an RV dealer if your RV breaks down. This is kind of more of a frame of mind. RV dealerships, they're going to service their customers first. Now, some of their customers, they may have scheduled appointments a month, maybe even 2 months ahead of time. They're not going to move their schedules around just
Right.
because you broke down. So RV dealerships, probably not your first best option if you're broke
Right.
down, especially out of town and you don't have a dealer that you're already been working with. You want to think about mobile RV techs.
Right.
These guys will come straight to your RV. They can usually fix just about anything an RV dealer can fix as well. And the plus side of this is most campgrounds will have a list, or at least be able to tell you the mobile RV techs in your area, the best ones, and sometimes even prices, and which ones
Right.
are allowed in the campgrounds and
Right.
which
Sometimes
ones are
not just any of them are allowed in the campground, so you need to check on that.
Yeah, and the good part of this is lots of times they're already weeding out the bad ones for you, so they may not allow the bad ones or ones that have problems with into the campground.
Right.
So check out the campground front office if you need an RV, mobile RV tech.
Number 9 on our list is leaving pets unattended. Safety first. You need a way to monitor your pets.
Definitely, you got to think about this. We're living basically in a tin can.
Yeah.
In the summertime, it gets hot, and it can get hot real fast. So you do want a way to be able to monitor your pet. We use Ring. We have thermometers. We can see the temperature on the inside and see what Rodeo's doing as well while we're gone.
Right.
Now, the other part about leaving your pets unattended is if your pet's a barker, and you know this, you know.
If your dog is a barker, you know your dog is a barker.
The last thing you want to do is be gone all day with a dog barking in your RV. It's not fair to all your neighbors around you. You're out enjoying yourself all day while your neighbors are sitting there listening to your dog bark all day.
And not to mention the poor dog.
Yeah, it's
This
not fair.
happens more than you would think.
We actually see this quite a bit. As a matter
Yeah,
of fact,
it's
just
sad.
last week we had a dog literally all day long barking, and there's like 3 or 4 neighbors right around him, and I know they just didn't enjoy the day.
It was
So-
like 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours. That's way too
It
long to
was.
leave a dog.
So if your dog is a barker, if you have a way, maybe it's not best to go out for the day or leave somebody back, or maybe you might have to leave a dog with a babysitter or something. But leaving
dog
pets,
sitter.
a dog sitter. But leaving pets unattended, that's kind of something to be aware of as well.
Yeah, maybe look into a boarding, a local place that will let you board for the day or a couple of days or something. It's just not fair to anybody, and it's definitely not fair to the dog.
Definitely. Last on our list, number 10.
Yep.
Pick up after yourself and your pets.
Always.
Now this should go without saying. This is just a no-brainer.
Always.
But we see this all
We
the
do.
time. We see what happened to us just coming here.
When we got here, we are in a I don't know if you can tell, but we're in a beautiful campground. It is beautiful here. And we weren't even unhitched from the RV, and I picked up 6 piles of dog potty
Yeah, this was
that
right,
were not Rodeos.
Yeah, right outside where our door would
Yeah.
be. So pick up
It was
after your
disgusting.
dogs. The other thing we see a lot of is people throwing garbage in the fire pits.
Yeah.
They just don't want to take it to a dumpster or a garbage can. We see that all the time.
Yeah.
Other things we see is, and some of this could be accidents, of course, but you go up to the pool area, there might be some empty beer bottles up there, or somebody
Sodas.
left a
Yeah.
soda bottle. Some of that I do understand is an honest mistake.
Yeah.
But it just kind of goes back. When you get up, look around, make sure you don't have any garbage. If you do, pick it up and take it away.
For sure.
Number 10, pick up after yourself and your pets.
Always.
Hopefully you got something out of this video. Hopefully you learned the 10 unwritten rules of RVing. These are our 10 anyways.
I hope we don't sound too much like fuddy-duddies.
But people need to be aware.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
to be a little bit more aware and be a little bit more respectful.
Of other campers,
Yeah,
other
for
RVers.
sure.
Let's keep everybody happy and RVing.
Happy campers.
Hey, that'd be a good thing. Remember, always live life to the fullest.
We hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great week. Stay safe, and we'll see you next Sunday. God bless.